Going on, everyone? So I got to see Knives Out, an early screening. Not as early as those people I got to see at the festival several months ago, but I still got an early screening. Like, it technically doesn't come out till Wednesday, so was able to get a cool poster. Shout out to AMC. They are not sponsoring this video, although, it'd be awesome if they did. But guys, all seriousness, Knives Out, the latest Rian Johnson movie. That's right, the same guy that did the controversial Star Wars: The Last Jedi. But hold your phone. He also directed Brick, Looper, and some episodes of Breaking Bad, one of the best TV shows of all time. So I was excited for this movie, honestly. I like mystery movies. I like Rian Johnson. So I wanted to see if this would be a recipe that would work. And Knives Out, for those of you that don't know, it follows a detective who investigates the death of a patriarch of an eccentric family that was very, very rich. Again, this is a movie that the mystery is very fascinating, and you are backed up by an excellent cast. Let me name some of these actors and actresses for you, just to give you an idea if you don't really know who's in this movie. You have Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Don Johnson, Keith Stanfield, Christopher Plummer, and a slew of other actors and actresses. They are awesome. They are all given moments that really make them shine with the material that they're given. They're all fantastic. Daniel Craig has a southern accent. I loved it. I thought it was perfect. Michael Shannon was also great in the movie, and I'm pinpointing these two because it's going to get into the next topic of the positives, and that those two I think were funny. This movie's very funny. I personally really dug the humor in this movie for the most part. We'll get into the other half in the negatives, but I really dug the humor for the most part, about like 85% of it. And on top of that, I think the script is really strong. The way that this material is able to, I know some people are going to like get triggered by this, but the way it's able to subvert expectations and really go in a direction that's very fascinating, I think that's awesome. And it doesn't shortchange the characters either for those twists and turns. If anything, it builds to the character's climax of what's going on in the final act. And I really think that's awesome. So characters are strong, story's strong, twists and turns are strong. You also have technical aspects that are fantastic. Cinematography is very well done. I really dug it, especially because the movie takes place mostly in the house, like one setting. And in most movies, if it takes place in one setting, what it does is it focuses like on like claustrophobic areas, so you're really getting a sense of like, oh my goodness, this is in one area. But this movie instead does the opposite. There's a lot of wide angle shots where you see everything that's going on. And it's really cool. And that doesn't mean that there's not shots that are up close, but there's a lot of shots that are wide angle shots, so you don't feel claustrophobic. If anything, you feel comfortable with all these characters and all the situations that are going on, which I really dug. Sound design is also really good. Minimalistic, but it's really good. I really liked the editing. The editing of this movie was fantastic. Goes in along with the like hand in glove with the twists and turns, which I thought were awesome. But yeah, now there's a lot I liked about this movie. I think entertainment value, it's really good. Messages wise, I really like the message of this movie, which are spoiler in themselves, so I'm not going to get into them. But yeah, I really like this movie. Now, what didn't work though? So let's get into that. So firstly, I wanted to say this. I said 85% of the humor worked, and that's true. But I think that the beginning of the movie was a bit bumpy and that the humor didn't really work. My one friend that I saw the movie with, he was laughing a lot during the first, half hour. I mean, he was laughing throughout the rest of the movie, but he was laughing during the first half hour. I wasn't really. In fact, I was like chuckling maybe a little bit, but I really didn't think it was that funny. And I think that also it takes a little bit to get into these characters. I mean, because of what goes on. Around the 45-minute mark, not only in the back of my mind was I thinking about the fact that the movie wasn't that funny, but also they reveal a bombshell of a twist that is really good. But I was thinking in my mind, I was like, are they really pulling up Passengers? I'll give you a little bit of backstory of Passengers. Passengers was a movie that came out in 2016 with Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence. They dropped a bombshell of a twist in that movie like 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the movie. And for the remaining 2 hours, the character that they dropped the bombshell on knows that information and the other character doesn't. So it's kind of like, okay, we as the audience are way ahead of these characters, but why is that? It's just boring. And I thought that that was going to be the case of Knives Out. In fact, I was scared. But thankfully, Rian Johnson throws not only that one twist, but he throws another 6 twists at you over the course of the movie. So it made sense structural-wise. And it's something that I feel like maybe in retrospect I'll appreciate. But again, it's that fact that seed was playing in my head of, oh my goodness, is this going to be the type of situation where the movie's like running out of script? In fact, it was the quite opposite, which I was glad about. But still, having that seed playing in my head, I'm hoping that upon rewatch that won't be the case. But for me personally now, it is a minor negative, as well as, again, I do think the beginning of the movie, the humor didn't quite land. But alas, those are nitpicks at this point, because at the end of the day, Knives Out, it's a very well-crafted movie. It's very entertaining. It gets all the technical aspects done well, and it hits all the marks for me. Technical aspects are well done. It's very well shot. The humor is spot on for the most part. The cast gives it their all. Twists and turns are really good. I personally didn't see it coming, even though some of them I should have. The messages are very impactful, that are done in an organic way that feels very naturalistic, especially given the fact that this movie takes place over the course of like a family going through all these things. And at the end of the day, I think this movie is very, very well recommended by me. And that's why Knives Out, I personally am giving it a 4.5 out of 5 star rating, which, for those of you who like a hot sauce rating, it's the good old Tabasco rating. That's right. This rating, I don't give it too often. So, you guys know this movie must be special. So, guys, Knives Out. What did you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.